When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, I am God Almighty. Walk before me and be blameless. I will confirm my covenant between me and you, and will greatly increase your numbers. Abram fell face down, and God said to him, As for me, this is my covenant with you. You will be the father of many nations. No longer will you be called Abram. Your name will be Abraham, for I have made you a father of many nations. I will make you very fruitful. I will make nations of you, and the kings will come from you. I will establish my covenant as an everlasting covenant between me and you, and your descendants after you for the generations to come, to be your God and the God of your descendants after you. The whole land of Canaan, where you are now in a line, I will give as everlasting possessions to you and your descendants after you, and I will be their God. So here, it's after 13 years, right? After Hagar gave Abram a birth, after 13 years, and God appeared to Abram. And this time Abram just fell face down. Before that, when God possessed him or God talked to him, he never used this word. So this time, when he faced down, I think he's scared. Scared for what? I don't understand. He didn't scare for the whole time. He even wanted to test God, right? And this time he faced down. One point just say like people's understanding of God, the fearness of the God, or the truly understanding of the divine may grow your age accordingly, with your age accordingly. So when you was young, you do not fear anything. You have nothing to fear. But when you're getting older, you fear. You don't fear something, life and death, but you do fear the truly divine. So I think at this moment, Abram, I believe he truly understands the God or the divine power. I believe at this moment. So when God said, I want you to be a complete man, right? A blameless. So right here there is another man called blameless. Who is blameless? Noah. And Noah, because he has no arguments within those groups, because people, they have 2 opinions, 3 opinions, right? And when Noah showed he will make everybody happy, make justice, or truly justice, so they called it like a blameless. So at this time, I think of Abram, his wisdom, his leadership, the ways of being a high priest or a chief, it's matured. So at this moment, I think God called him blameless. Yeah. So all those experience, all those knowledge needs to grow with time. And it's interesting, a lot of from here, I'm kind of slip through the topic a little bit off. The research showed kids, they inherited mothers, usually boy, inherit mothers like 90% intelligent, and maybe father's side like a character or physical things. So I think, is that possible? I just leap. Is that possible? A lot of young women marry with middle age or older men. It's not necessary. Their kids, their offspring, somehow inherited both parts, because you don't expect women genius, right? But for girl, mostly graduate college, they have like a good, very good IQ. It's a average is between like a 90 to 120, so should be enough for most kids. And but the kids inherited fathers already matured character or life view or some kind of habits, right? So made this kids kind of rather call born with the silver spoon. So those kids, they have a higher position. They have a more advantage than most of the kids. Yeah, that's just my leap, but it's a little observation. Yeah. Okay. In here, like God again, just like I want you to have more offspring. So from beginning to at this moment, God never promised everlasting life, right? Never promised the eternal life. He just wants you to have more offspring. That's the measurement. That's the measurement to see who was blessed by the God. So eternal life is the amendment. I think is a shifted like a direction to draw our like a face, to keep us like on the hook. I use the word on the hook because at that time we worship our ancestor, and we do know there is some place or some status our soul can be rested. So this moment we need a lot of like a descendant to worship, to keep this place. But I think everything changed. Big environment changed. So God used a different concept called eternal life. Yeah, to shift the direction. Keep us with him. That's I believe. Okay, even in the ancient time, 99 years old, that time still considered very old. And for Abram, he still doesn't have a direct child. The one called Damascus, Eliezer, right? Eliezer from Damascus, even maybe came from him and another maid or something, maid servant, but for him, still considered servant. Same as Ishmael, still servant. And this time, I think he went through almost everything: love, hate, life, bandit, rich, poor, all kinds of things. So 99 years old, mostly you don't have much desire. I'm called desire. So for him, the only thing in his mind is, how can I peacefully go to where my ancestor is? And this bring up the big issue is tomb, buried, life and death. Who gonna bury with me? What I gonna bring to the ground with me, right? How I gonna bury it? So mostly old people that age, especially, he has nothing to do because his tribe is pretty big at that time. Looks like he has a huge tribe. So all he thought about, how many frankincense I need, how many myrrh I need, and because the dead body, you have to ointment them, right? You have to use a really nice like a cotton or those kind of sheet to wrap. That's their like a ritual, So for Abram, people like in ancient time, people face death much straight, easier, and calm than us. So that's Abraham will think. And the only thing bother him is what? the child sings, right? The child sings. He's not peacefully. So this might be the best moment for those fallen angels to approach. They can toggle, they can twist, they can push him, maybe make him do something more extraordinary. You think about it like you can, since domestic Elise is the servant, and why should I give my estate to servant? Because the previous sentence, he has a kind of like a really no choice. I have no choice. But right now I have a choice, right? I have choice to give to another servant, Ishmael. So you know what? I maybe do some conspiracy, let the two servants to fight for it, to have the stronger one. Yeah, it's the ancient time, two little young cubs, they fighting, then became the Lion King. So, I'm teach them last lesson before I die. That could be, right? So it caused a big chaos in the Israel. That's, I think, the time point is that God came down and said, okay, I give you new covenant, and also change the name. Why need a new covenant and change the name? Because it's kind of he tell the fallen angel side, okay, don't do anything to him anymore, because it's basically I take over. God himself, instead of possessed. So God, I would say inside trading, or he basically interfere the progress again. He interfere everything again. Suppose you God is the observer. As the testing, you observe the things happen, and you just see the result. So everybody kind of collect the data. But God tried to make things favor or go towards his will. So he keep him put the finger into this game. It's kind of like in the quantum theory, you keep pushing, you keep saying it, you keep bringing it, and eventually it won't happen. It's cause and consequence. I don't know. That's for me at this moment. The God interference actually made the whole direction go different. Just create a branch. Create a it's a branch, not on the straight path. Today is the Chinese New Year, first day. So Happy New Year, everybody. I remember a British philosopher. His name is Bertrand Russell. Yeah, he said it before. He said the purpose of science is not to build a solid truth or to form a internal dogmatism. I think that's not exactly. I didn't quote what he said, but not exactly what he said. But that's his. I remember basically that's what he said. Then he said the science is try to approach the truth and find the truth, and not just claim sometimes it is truth. So that's the purpose of a Bible research analysis, because we try to find the truth, use scientific ways, use analysis through your own original thinking. Just let's back to the Bible study. Let's back to the Abram, because remember right here, right, chapter 17, the covenant. God tried to build a covenant with Abram. But actually, God already had a couple times conversation with Abram, and he promised Abram, and the basic contents looks similar, but actually, if you read carefully, they are different. And also, when you compare those promise, those contents, you will notice actually God is lose the battle. All those promise are falling down. I use the word falling down. Yeah, failed. Firstly, the first in chapter 12. Let's back to chapter 12. The first promise God told him, I will make you a great nation, right? A great nation, and whoever bless you, will bless for you, I will bless him. Curse you, I must curse. And all the nation, all the people will bless through you. That's like a Pharaoh. That's kind of like a Pharaoh-like, So at this time, Abram is 75, 60, 70 something, with no children, and God kind of like set the fire in his heart, right? His ambition start to like burning. So he feel, wow, with God's help, I will have a nation. What means a nation? I'm gonna be a king. So he brought all his people, leave his hometown, go south, right? His expedition, yeah. Then after Sarai, right? Sarai sleep with Pharaoh, and he come back to the Canaan. And this time, remember what God told him. God didn't really tell him anything, just through the possessed him, and told him, oh, well, I will award you, and I'm your shield or something, right? And what else, God, you can give me? God said, okay, you will have a lot of countless people. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, and it's not nation anymore. Your descendant will like live in other country and will be tortured, whatever, something, and you will peacefully go back to your ancestor. It's total different story, total different promise. Kind of like he cannot keep his promise. A neighbor, why? This Canaan, this is the enemy land, enemy field. So I think God's power is limited. But the first one, God kind of like a really high SD. He has really good confidence. I can make you do this. But when really go to the enemy field, God is, oh, I can't do it. Only thing I can do is like this. And God even set up the perimeter for Abraham will help, the river by the river, and what kind of people you can deal with. But before that, your people has to, make a deal with the other gods. So he faced the reality, right? Then after a couple more years, God come back, do it again. Okay, let's do it again. Because think about Abraham is 99 years old. He's facing his end of the day, right? But God still like want to enforce his idea inside Abraham. Oh, I'm Almighty God. Okay, I have a covenant. Covenant is really serious, right? And so his ancestor, his offspring can trace back, can use this as a warranty. Okay, because God has a covenant. So it's not just said, I have a covenant. Then God said, okay, I make your offspring, a lot of offspring, and the country made from you, something. So basically, you will not be the king, and you might not eat the fruit. so your offspring will. But at least it's some kind of promise. So for Abraham, from like a king candidate, a big nation's king candidate, to a chieftain, right? Then eventually to certain points, just like, okay, just sleep with Sarah, keep like mating, okay? And I needed you, you stay alive, and your offspring will have, I promise you, okay? But you just like you don't have hope anymore. That's what I read from this. Previous video I talked about the God's commitment actually is showed going down. It's basically it showed as downtrend. You at the beginning he promised Abraham will be king-like, right? Then after that, actually it's a four times covenant, 4 times promise. The second times when Lot tried to depart with him, he told Abram, you're gonna have like all what you can see, look right, look east, south, north, whatever, and all what became your land. That's still very promiseful. You will be the king-like, or you own the land, right? So there's no limitation. But after negotiation with the enemy party, with another god, then the third time God possessed Abraham, told him, okay, your limitation is from here to Euphrates and the people. So that's, you have limitation. Also, you need to pay the price. You need to go to, your offspring will go to the other country to become the slave after 400 years. And you won't be king, but you will die peacefully, right? So the fourth time it changed again. So, but the still limits, their land is in Canaan area. And his nothing to do with Abraham. You just live right there, try to give me a birth. Okay. Then, but within these 4 promises, even they change, but still there is a common things between what? Population. A lot of population for he wants Abraham to give a birth from him, like 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. That's that kind of a way, try to populate more people under Abraham. So why? Is there any reason? Let's back to Tesla again. Because the fundamental of a spirit or God's power, willing power, all those things, we call it more, they live upon our faith. So there are the frequencies that live upon our faith. So the more population brings more believer, right? More believer. And the more believer call God's name and follow the worship of the God and make the God stronger. Why? Because when you call God's name, call this God, the same frequency, you make it stronger. Make the frequency stronger. You amplify your faith. So that's a very simple way of a battle between gods. I need a more population. I need a same population, because the more population, the different ethnic group, they have a different gods, right? And they have different worship. So the wave is impure. So you will cancel each other. But if one population, one ethnic group, very possibly they have one faith, one God. And so a strong wave, God will receive. That's very simple. So if we put everything, God's just want a population, want like one belief. That's it. The amount, quantity, and quality. So quality means what? Means one race. Quantity means what? Means more population. So even right now, get it. Even right now, yeah, the Christian, same thing. You under the one name. So you have one name, make sure the direction is same, the vector direction is same. Then you have population. So very simple way to see those statements. Doesn't matter you love God, you hate God, you disbelieve God. The common thing is you all agree there is God. So when you love God, you inspired by the what? The character, what he did, all those things, right? The words. When you hate God, you don't like what's his character, what he did, what his words, right? And when you disbelieve God, which means this God does not fit the concept of God, which the God concept, it has what? It has the character, the whatever he will do, he might do, he will perform. So you still believe there is different God. Whatever we see God, we view God, I think everything has to make sense. Even divine things, right? Even a lot of divine things, at the beginning they feels like do not make sense. But when we go deep analysis, they still make sense. Let's say like for example, okay. Wait. For example, the covenant. When God gave the covenant with Abraham, the covenant it's a bilateral relationship, which means both parties has to satisfy. And that means God will keep the promise, right? God will keep the promise. And we will keep the promise. What if we do not keep promise? So God, he doesn't need to, right? And at the beginning, go play yourself. At the beginning, we notice when God talked to Cain, talked to Noah, talked to Abram at the beginning, he didn't use the word covenant. I think covenant is a very serious word within the heavens, between the heavens. And when God told Abram the covenant, it's not only talk to Abram, it actually talked to the fallen angels, talk to the earth. The reason is it has the limitation of the covenant. So God limits at the beginning, very far beginning. God just tell like Abraham, "Oh, go, then everything I make you from king and all the land, whatever." Then it's a big mouse. The second time God told Abraham when Lot depart from him, look left, look right, look east, look south, right? Everything will be yours, right? And it's still vague. It just like encourage him. It can't count as a covenant. And even at a very far early, like when he talked to Noah, go get the bow. It's a command. It's an order. It's a command. So it's not covenant. But when God told Abram the covenant this time, it limits the territory. Abram, they will occupy, and they have more like his power more effectively will work on it. So that's his ground, Canaan. Also, another thing is who will benefit from it? Abram and his descendants, right? And but what Abram and his descendant will do, that's in the following sentence. So it's a contract. It's kind of like a contract. So part A, I will give you this, and if you do such things, and if you don't do such things, you won't have something, and that's, I believe, it's covenant. And why God wanted like build a covenant? I think it's I read the quote. It's a triangle relationship between the God, fallen angel, and the earth. Well, most of the time, heavens and earth, they try to understand each other, try to against each other sometimes. So heaven maybe try to occupy the earth, and the earth try to understand the heaven. And let's say, without God, earth probably will collapse. Why? Because God made the earth, right? So if his willing power collapse, earth will collapse. But will the earth collapse really affect the abyss, the dark matter, those things? No, because they just back to their original things. But will earth collapse affect the God, the heavens? Yes, because they have no escape way. They bonded to the earth. They have no escape way or no second choice. They used all their resource to create the earth, use all their powers, use all their DNA samples. So if they do it again, I highly doubt it. They are the refugee of the universe. Well, the earth collapse affect the fallen angels. Well, yes. Reason is fallen angel found some fortress on the earth or use earth as a defense, kind of like a shelter. So heavens or gods, their power cannot enable to fully occupy on the earth. So these three parties, their relationship is kind of like they rely on each other, they bonding each other, and they hate each other. And I just like in China, like a really old time, it's a story called Three Kingdom Romance. And the three country, they relate to each other, and they love each other, they hate each other. Finally, they just die later. A new dynasty was generated within these three countries. Let's back to the Bible. When God talked to Abram at this moment, used the covenant, I think it is a serious agreement made between the heavens and the fallen angels. So that's I would say that's game rule. The game. They set the boundary line for the game, set the testing ground for the games, and set the final limitation. You at least you give me a minimum warranty, right, for something. So you will not eliminate my chosen one or my bloodline or something. That's what I see from this contract, the beginning of the contract. Covenant. I rather call it contract. Happy Valentine's Day. This rose is for my dear followers. That's for you. Okay. Today I will talk about love. Valentine's Day, talk about love. But it's not the love like most people think about love. The reason is, mostly when we talk about love, right? We talk love, we make love, we sacrifice love, we suffer from love, we cheat on love, all kinds of like emotional things, conditional things. So I try to go to the unconditional love. It's called agape. That's a Latin word called agape. That's back to early time. I think St. Augustine and those people, they talk about agape. But when I read the statement from the covenant, it's not unconditional. I didn't see unconditional love from God to human. Actually, I realized the covenant is a conditional statement between God and human, Abraham's people. And you have to, both sides you have to satisfy to remain, to make this covenant take effect. Right here, like firstly, God will be their God, right? So he will make Abraham's descendant, offspring, to be the king, or make him more population, you know. So that's the condition. I have to be the main religion. You have to worship me. Then I will protect you, help you. So it's agape. No, it's not agape. It's not unconditional. It's actually it's very selfish. Yeah. Actually, that actually God does admit he is not a generous God. He is a selfish God. He is a exclusive others. So when we talk about agape love, I think it's just ideology. You know, it's never really exists. Just when we think about God, right? When we think about God, firstly, you think about the object. Let's say the object, the God. It has to have some kind of name, the title you have to call it, right? And the character, and what God's character, and what he good at, or what it's powerful, right? And maybe what he should look like, or because unless it's visualized or you have something proof, you can't tell its existence. That's a human. Then the God has to do something, left some kind of legend, some great things, you know, in the world. For example, he punched a hole in the Himalaya, right? Made a big hand mark. Or for example, he stomped some city, made a big footprint, right? So these kind of things, will those things really matter to us? Not really. Why? Because it doesn't affect me. It doesn't benefit me, right? It doesn't benefit me. So I don't care. So this kind of God, I really can care less. So the God, it has to meet a certain condition is you have a name, you have a image, you have a character, and you impact with us and benefit us. Also, you can't just benefit once, uno, it's useless. It could be coincidence, right? So you need to, from generation to generation, and you have everlasting power, we can hold on. So these things we call God. So realize that God in this covenant, he basically satisfied this condition. Firstly, he showed Abraham his face. So Abraham just saw, oh, wow, that's God. Immediately know. So he faced down, right? And because the previous message, God just possessed him. So Abraham cannot sure. But here, Abraham saw. So God has image. Also, think about it. Abraham is a chief, right? So it's an old chief. So he might have a servant, might have people around him. So other people may see. So at this moment, people can see God. They knew what God looks like, or divine, has nothing hide, you know. And the God character, and since they have a multiple interaction between each other, that's his character, right? You can have a small profile. Also, like what God promised, God did to the previous fighting, all those things. So it's a proof God has capability to do something. Also, right here, the promise is like the extension of his capability. I will make you offspring more and more. King will come from, and I will be the God for them. So for God, he needs a pure, rather it's a pure bloodline, or he needs a one single religion to keep the faith, keep the pray, keep the chanting, those power pure. Because we talk about at the beginning the theory about the frequency, universal theory, everything made by frequency. So our faith, our chanting, our God's name, everything is a very unique frequency. So when you like keep what, 1 person, 2 persons, 3 persons, more and more person, it's a quantity that make the frequency stronger and stronger. You have a one frequency, you more and more merge together, stronger. So that gets God's power stronger and stronger. So that's the purpose. God wanted Abraham, all his offspring, make a king, make a country, and be the God. It's very simple. So is that unconditional love? No, it's not. It's just it's a contract. It's a contract.